and a water stairway to 450 feet above sea level, the highest point on the canal. They can make the journey from Reading to Bristol in an hour or so. It'll take us a few days. And by the way, there's another curiosity here. Until this point, we have been travelling upstream. Now, without turning around, we are going downstream. From this point, the Kennet and Avon flows one way eastward to the Thames, and in the opposite direction westward to the Avon. Ken Taylor is the lockkeeper at Wootton Rivers and an unofficial guide.
Increase of traffic down here, do you think there's a danger of it becoming more of a tourist trap as opposed to a...
95% of the people that are my customers, if you like, are nothing to do with boats, except they like looking at them in many cases. But there's mostly people out for a walk, fishermen, yeah, all sorts. Boats are fairly small, but important because they provide the income.
Do you get schools coming down as well, for little study areas?
Yeah, I do a lot of school talks beside the Lockfield demonstrations, and talking particularly to junior schools. It's fantastic, really.
So there are many subjects you can cover. There's the wildlife side and the historical.
And wildlife is my particular sort of thing. I'm very keen on it, and we're very fortunate. We've got a canal that carries an enormous amount of wildlife, and with the offside of the canal, a sort of no-go area for all boaters. So we've got bags of ground cover, so, you know, we're lucky. But stoats, weasels, you know, they're all here. Even the occasional otter, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See you again, John. I won't take your hand. Bye-bye, thank you.
Recognize it? You will if you're one of those television fanatics. It's Ken's home. But it became known to the nation as that house beside the river, starring David Essex. Strange to film something called The River beside a canal, you might think. Howard thinks it's time for some refreshment, though, and when in Wootton Rivers, the Royal Oak is where you go for that. It has a lot to thank the canal for. John Jones bought the Royal Oak 14 years ago when the brewery could see no future for it. Today, he sees bright prospects.
And have you noticed at all in that period of time, since the canal has started to become more popular, a change in your clientele?
Yes, well, certainly there's a lot more walkers, a lot more people that are interested in boats and water. It's opened up the area enormously.
And presumably a lot of children and families who come here just for the day. Indeed,
children. We've got a big restaurant, so we can look after the children very easily.
And how do you see the future then? Yeah, do you see a great increase in the trade?
I think it's certainly a steady increase. I think that all these facilities in our own country tend to sort of progress fairly slowly forward, and you're able to control them as a result.
Yes. Well, you've certainly got a lovely situation here, as I said, and being re-thatched at the moment as well.
Yes, it's beginning to get a bit wet inside.
Well, thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good help.
Wharf, a popular meeting place for the people who have long regarded the canal as a vital part of their lives. For folk like Ian Sharp, the rebirth of the Kennet and Avon is a dream come true. Like other trip boat operators all along the canal, Ian welcomes the new waves of people who are coming to find out what it's all about. British Waterways, controllers of the canal, have a policy of ecological mapping. Reed beds and canal-side plants are marked on maps, and dredger drivers are instructed to dig and remove growth only where the need justifies it, and to move some growth to other areas for replanting. When the boats went away, the duckweed found the canal much more to its liking. It thrived in the still waters of the Long Pound, the 15 miles without locks between Wootton rivers and Devizes. Herbicides did nothing to clear it. British Waterways has had to harvest it instead.
Part of the country there.
Oh, it's fantastic, fantastic.
How long has this been operating?
About 1.5 years now, this boat.
Right. Were you up here before?
Yes, we operate the trip boat at Devizes.
Ah, yes.
And we do
Been on that one.
trips through to Pusey maybe once or twice a year. So it's sort of pioneering fun run.
Yes, excellent.
In the days when the canal was a thriving commercial route, Honey Street was the barge operator's marketplace, the place to go for everything from a mooring peg to a brand new boat. Robbins, Lane and Pinniger were the builders, a name as well known along the length of the Kennet and Avon then as Vauxhall is along the M4 today. Many a fine and sturdy craft they launched sideways into the water from this yard. If ghosts haunt anywhere on this canal, it must surely be at silent Honey Street. Chinooks fly and white horses gallop across the chalk hills of Wiltshire. This version of the white horse adorns the Vale of Pusey. One of the problems of maintenance for British Waterways is that the reeds won't always cooperate. They sometimes fall away from the bank and make little islands of themselves in the middle of the stream. But it's another talking point with which to pass away the long, lazy day.